So I'm going to log into the JCP management system as an administrator. If you want to log out of the system, then you can log out. It will log you out of the JCP management system. All our users can reset the password or reset their forgotten password. So we are going to reset the administrator's password. And then the administrator can now log in with their resetted password. Now we are going to apply as a community partner on the JCP management system. The system allows the community partner to upload a picture of themselves, and then they can come in and fill in their personal details. Now the application will allow the community partner to add their project details. The community partner must now choose a project category for the category where the project will be saved in. Then the community partner can proceed to submit their application. Once they've submitted their application, they can now log into the JCP management system, but they won't have the full functionalities that community partners have, because the application has to be accepted before they have access to all the functionalities that the community partners can do on the system. As we can see, we have the navigation bar, of which they can view the application status and the actual application, where they can also edit the application. Once the community partner has applied to be part of the JCP management system, they will receive 2 emails. The first email they receive is a confirmation that they have applied to become part of JCP, and the second email that they receive is a verification email to verify their email address. Now the community partner can log into the JCP management system once they've been accepted as a JCP member by the administrator. As you can see on the landing page, the community partner now has access to more functionalities of the system. So we're going to go through the functionalities of the system. So on the navigation bar, we have tabs. So now when you land on the projects tab, the community partner can see all their projects, and they can also add a project. Community partners can add multiple projects on our system, but the community partners can add up to 10 projects on the system, but the administrator can control how many projects that each community partner adds. So now the community partner has added a project. Back to the navigation bar. On the student tab, because no students have been assigned to this project, there's no students, but once students are assigned to this project, the community partner will be able to view the students assigned. And the same applies for external students as well. So if a community partner wants to add an external student, they can add one. We have a project drop-down option where it will display all the projects that the community partner has added to their profile. Once the community partner has added an external student, the external student's information will be saved on the system, and they can now continue to generate a certificate for the external student. And we can download the certificate once the external student has completed the course for whichever project that the community partner has. And then back to the navigation bar, the community partner is able to see the information. They can edit the information, modify it. The community partner can also now upload documents. So these are the type of documents that come in a JCP pamphlet that they need to sign and give back to the students, but they can also upload them on our system if they opt to upload them rather than giving the documents to the system, to the student. As you can see, it displays the uploaded document. Then now the community partner can now see if the students have read the messages, but since students are not assigned to the project yet, we cannot display this. Also, a feature that we have on the system is our newsfeed. So the community partners can also view all the posts that the administrators do on the system. So all the posts relating to JCP, the community partners can view. We also have a help facility where the community partners can search on the system's functionality, how to use the system, and what steps they can take to use the system. Back to the news. Now we can log out of the system. Students. Because at this point in time students don't have access to the system, they must go and generate their login credentials by clicking on the login credentials button. Once this button is clicked, the student must provide their UP student number, so an email can be sent to the student number. Once this is done, the students can now go to their email and view their email. So the first email they're going to receive is a verification email where they have to verify their email address. The second email they're going to receive is an email containing their login email address, which is their tax email address, and their password. This is the password that they can use to log into the system. They can obviously also reset this password if they wish to do so. Upon logging in, the students will land on this page, which will contain a video which can inform them more about the module. On our navigation bar on the projects tab, they will be redirected to the project category page where they can view different projects from different community partners. Once they've clicked on the View Project button, they can temporarily choose a button, and once they've temporarily chosen this project, it will be added to their profile by their project information. Students can only accept or reject a project that they have temporarily chosen. So if the student group decides to work with this project for the rest of the year, they can click on the Accept Project button, and they will be permanently assigned to this project for the rest of the year. Back to the navigation bar on the Book Trip tab, the students can use this to book a trip that they have to go visit the project location. So for instance, if the project location is in Equestria, they can just move the locator to Equestria, zoom into the location to see if they are at the exact location, and then that is their location for the project trip. They can select the date for the trip. Let's make it next week Monday. The starting time of the trip, the time that they want to be picked up, 7:29 a.m. 8:29 a.m. and the estimated ending time for the trip. So let's say 5:05 p.m. The project name is auto-filled in this field. Then they can give the driver a description, maybe their location. Once the project trip is booked, they can view their project trip where they can view a driver assigned. Obviously now there's no driver assigned, but they can also update the information about the project trip. So maybe they can change the starting time to 9 a.m. Click on the Save Changes, and then it would be updated on the system. And then back to the navigation bar, the students can request tools from JCP that they might need to use during the duration of their project. So JCP has different tools. So when you click on the tool tab, you will be presented with two categories. Depending on the type of tool you want, you can click on the category. For instance, if you want a construction tool, and then once you view the information about the tool, you can request the tool. Provide a request date, next week Monday, since the project trip is next week Monday, and a return date. Let's say you're going to use the tool for 2 days, then you can return it on Wednesday. Then you will request the tool. Going to the student budget tab. On the student budget tab, The student will initially be assigned a balance by the administrator. So this is the balance, the amount that the administrator assigns to the student for the rest of the project. But because we haven't assigned a balance to the student yet, the balance is 0. But how this functionality works is when the students use up their JCP money, they need to upload the receipt on the system. So for instance, let's say they bought paint. They add their date of purchase, the 10th, and then they used 30 Rand, 20 Rand. Then they choose the file for their receipts. Just going to use the group picture. So because the balance is 0, it's going to give them an error message that they do not have enough money to upload this receipt, only because we haven't allocated an amount to the student group. And then, but once an amount is allocated, they'll be able to upload a receipt. And each time a receipt is uploaded, it will subtract from the balance, but we'll come back to this functionality. Then we have the Documents tab, where students can upload different documents that JCP requires them to upload. So we have a drop-down option for the type of document that JCP requires a student to upload. So for instance, a child protection form. Then we can upload the child protection form and then submit it to the system. Once it's done uploaded, the document will be displayed in a table form. Now for the table tab, for the profile tab, we have drop-down options where it will display the student's information. So it will just display the student's group number, their name, surname, email address, contact number, and their study program. So their study program is like their degree. The second drop-down option is the project information. The third one is the project trip that the students booked, the project date, location, time, and the name of their project, as well as the button to cancel, to either cancel the project trip, update the information of the project trip, or view the driver that is assigned to the project. Lastly, they can also view their tool request. So the tool that the students requested is a saw. The tool description is also there, the tool category is there, and the return date is also there. This message block is used by the administrator. Once they accept the tool request, a message will be displayed here informing the student about the accepted tool request. And then they have the option to also cancel the tool request. Then once it's cancelled, they'll have no tool requests. And then this option here on the tab is all the messages that the student received from the community partner. But because the community partner didn't send the student any messages, it's obviously blank. And then you can use the help facility, which we showcased in the community partner section. Then you can log out from the student section. Now we're going to log into the system as an administrator. Upon logging into the JCP management system as an administrator, you will be welcomed by the dashboard, where you can see the numbers of users on the system, the total number of driver applications, the total number of tools checked out, community partner applications, as well as a system timer to adjust the time that the users can spend on the system if they are inactive before it kicks them out. You can also view the messages that community partners send to students, as well as to view the number of community partners on the system, the number of drivers on the system, as well as the number of students on the system. On the left side of the system, you can go to the different reports that the system generates, as well as backing up the system, as well as viewing the audit trail of the system. You can view the audit trail of the system, which will display all the activity that is done on the system, and also you can download the audit trail and export it to an Excel sheet. And then you can view the audit trail, obviously. Back to the system. On the navigation bar, we have the student tab, which has 3 drop-down options: student groups, student group account, and student grades. In the student group drop-down option, the administrator can view the different group numbers with the projects that the group is allocated to. So for instance, in group 2, the latest project, there are 2 students allocated to this group. Back to the drop-down options, to the student group accounts. The administrator can also now allocate an amount to the different student groups for their JCP budget. So for instance, if I want to allocate an amount to group 2 and I want to allocate 600 to group 2, I can submit this and group 2 will be allocated 600 Rand, as you can see. Since I explained previously in the student subsection, system section, that students can upload receipts, and then the administrator will be able to view the receipts, but because the students were not allocated an amount, they couldn't upload any receipts. The administrator can also allocate a mark to the student group, to the whole group. As seen here, a mark is already allocated, but I can change the mark to 70%. A 70 will be allocated to the whole group. Alternatively, if the administrator wishes to allocate individual marks to the students, he can add a mark to a student. It will be updated. He can remove the mark and update the mark. Now for the community partner section of the system. The administrator can view community partner applications. This is where he can see the applications of the community partner and accept or reject the application. Upon acceptance of a community partner application, the community partner's information will now be moved to existing community partners. And if he decides to reject an application, the application will be rejected. When we go to the existing community partners, he can view the community partners existing on the system, as well as view their information. He can also alternatively change the number of projects that the community partner can add. For instance, if he wants this specific community partner to only add 4 projects, it will limit the community partner's functionality of adding different projects to the system, because their maximum amount is 4 and not 10, for instance. This drop-down option, the next one is possible projects. So the community partner has to accept the administrator needs to accept a community partner, then accept their project. So you can view a project, accept the project. Upon acceptance, the project will be added to available projects, which is here. So once it's available, the students can also view the projects from their side. Back to the project categories. Now for the driver tab, The administrator can view the different driver applications, accept or reject the driver. Once the driver is accepted, they will be added to existing drivers. If they are accepted and they are added to existing drivers, the administrator, can then download their license table, timetable, and identity documents, and also remove the driver if they wish to. Now for the importing information. On our system, we import project proposal information, student group information, and project presentation information. But because we've already imported this, imported students on the group, project proposals, and presentations, we can't really show this functionality. But this is how students are able to generate the login credentials, because the information is imported here by the administrator. Now we can go to tool requests. The administrator can view the tool request, so they can view the tool name that is requested, request date, and their return date. If they decide to accept the tool request, they can confirm this, and the tool will be removed from the tool request table. The tool management drop-down option. So if if an administrator wants to add a new tool, he can do so. So let's add advanced ladder. Add the tool. And then upon adding a tool, the administrator must download the tool QR code, because he will need to scan this QR code when he checks the tool in and checks the tool out. When he checks the tool in, happens when the tool is being returned by the students. When he checks it out, it happens when the students have came to the office to take the tool. Cancel. Then you can remove a tool from the system. You can inspect its condition. So maybe it's in a damaged condition. You can insert a comment. And then it will edit the condition of the tool. And then you can maintain the tool. That means you can edit the tool's information. For instance, if you want to change the tool category that this tool is in, you can change it, and it will update it on the system. Now for the finance part of the system. So our client said they are experiencing a problem when they have to send a reminder to the financial department for financial profile to be created for the students. So they can send a reminder to the financial department by setting the time for the reminder to be sent, as well as a date. You can choose an occurrence, so we can use once, and then you can insert an email to where the reminder should be sent. Set reminder. And once this reminder is set, if you check the email that the reminder is sent to, the respective person will receive the email regarding the reminder to create the financial profile. It's taking a while, but we'll get back to this part. The administrator can also upload a claim form. So a claim form is a form that is created once before the financial profile is created. So you can upload a document of the claim form, upload it to the system. The claim form will be displayed in a table at the bottom, and send an email again to the respective person in the financial department who has to receive this claim form. Then when you click send, the claim form will be sent to the respective email. Now for the administrator section and the report section of the system, the administrator can add a new administrator if they wish to. So we will go through that process. Submit, and a new administrator will be added to the system. The administrator can alternatively edit the information. So for instance, if this is Pretoria West and my email it will update the information, and then they can also remove an administrator from the system. Now for the access roles. So the administrator has different role, can be modified to access certain parts of the system, but not in the entire part of the system. So for instance, if the administrator wants to add an assistant to help him through the system, but only wants the assistant to access specific parts of the system, he can, for instance, say assistant, and then it will modify the navigation bar to the access role that the administrator has given that specific assistant. They can also add a new access role by giving it a name. Project manager, and allow for student access, community partner access, driver access, reports access, and tool access. Save changes, and the new access role will be added. And then it will edit the navigation bar respectively. Give it back to super access. Okay, on our system we can also generate multiple reports, like the driver report. So on this report, you can see the number of infringements that the drivers have received. And then we can also generate tool reports. We can also back up our system So when you back up your system now, it'll back up the system, and then a copy of the system will be added to this table, and then you can click to restore the system. System date is there, and the file name is also there. You can also remove it from the table. So since we didn't display the set reminders, let's check if the email is now in. Yes. So you can view, we sent the email for the claim form, so you can view the claim form that has been sent to the respective financial department person. And that seems to be it from the administrator section. Now we're going to log into the JCP management system as a driver. Upon logging in as a driver, the driver will see the same homepage that every other user has been being able to see when they log into the JCP management system. On the navigation bar, the driver can view their profile, which will display their details, their license details. They can change their password and save their changes. The driver can now view all the available trips that the students have booked for, take the trip if they want to, and then view their trip schedule. So they have a trip scheduled on the 7th. They can see the information here. They also have a trip that's scheduled for the 9th, which the information is also displayed here. If a driver receives a ticket or gets into an accident along the road while being on a project trip, they can add an infringement on the system. So they can add a description. The date of the infringement, the time the infringement occurred, the location, and the type of infringement. So, speeding tickets. And then they'll submit this infringement and it will save it on the system. The drivers can also view the news feed that the administrator uploads posts on, and they can upload their documents. So if they have a new certified identity document, they can upload it. And that's all the functionality for the driver's side of the system.